Lincoln Park Presbyterian Church. And this community forum came about because of a conversation between the mayor, our former city manager, Matt Koppler, the parent resource room, which is located at the Lafayette School, and myself. And we realized that there are all kinds of providers in the city of Lincoln Park, as well as all kinds of needs, but that the providers were not meeting. The people who had needs didn't necessarily know about the providers, and the providers were trying to meet those people with needs, and that we needed somehow to gather people together. And so that was the beginning of coming up with this community forum. And so I thank you all for being here tonight, because we feel like this is the beginning of something great. A couple of logistical things. We are asking that everybody please join in at a table that has a number on it. So if you are not at a table with a number on it, I know that there are seats up here. I know it's kind of close, but I promise Leah doesn't bite. I promise. Also, we want to make sure that for those who are providers, that you signed in and put down your organization and your email, because we are trying to compile all of those providers in the city. Oh, we've got a couple of tables over here that are completely empty. We are going to hope that the technology works with us this evening. Our city planner for the city of Lincoln Park, Leah. And Leah has been a great help in forming how we are going to go about business tonight, so that we can get the greatest amount of information out of even a large group of people. And so I will turn that over to her. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. This is super exciting. I don't think that I have ever been a part of a meeting just like this one, and so I am very excited to be here in a community that really cares so deeply that you're willing to not only organize something like this, but also show up for it. Oh boy, this is going to be a long night. Okay. So, I'm going to start out just with some quick introductions. So, Clara and I have already been introduced. I will also introduce you to my colleague Liz, just so that you know who the other facilitator is if you have questions. And then I would like to, this might take us a minute because we have lots of people, which I'm so excited about, but I would really like to just go around the room very quickly and tell us your name. If you are here representing an organization, whether that organization has brought some materials or whether you're just sort of here on behalf of one, if you could tell us the name of that organization and maybe your mission. But of course we want that to be pretty quick because there's lots of us here. So I think we'll go around the table first, just your name and your organization, and then if you do have some additional materials here, be sure and point us to them, and then we will have Playworks introduce themselves and tell us a little bit about what your mission is also. So if we could just start right here, maybe.
George Cretu, Lincoln Park's Economic Development and Lincoln Park's Rotary, and just want to find out a little bit more about what we're doing in the park.
Should I have them use the microphone?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Good evening, Fred Gruber, and I'm here on behalf of the Phyllis Gruber Child and Young Adult Resource Center. I'm based at Blessed Hope Church, and our main mission will be to help young people, those who've aged out of foster care, those who are no longer in the juvenile justice system, and families who are in economic straits, try to help them get back on their feet, or in some cases, become self-standing for the first time.
Sue Coffey from the Lincoln Park Presbyterian Church.
Linda Shimura from the Lincoln Park Presbyterian Church. Denise Roberts, Park Presbyterian Church.
Josh McDonald from Lincoln Park Presbyterian Church.
Roy Renaud from Blessed Hope Christian Church.
I'm Pastor Gary Shipling from Blessed Hope Church in Lincoln Park. We provide meals 7 days a week, Monday through Friday. It's 2 meals a day. We have a food pantry open 3 times a week, and we have a social worker available 4 nights.
Bernice
Adele with Lincoln Park Presbyterian Church.
Ron Scheck, Lincoln Park Presbyterian Church.
Ruth Morrison, Lincoln Park Presbyterian Church.
Catherine Newton, Lincoln Park Presbyterian Church. Beth McWhiston, Lincoln Park Presbyterian Church, but I'm also a care manager at a few offices, a few doctor's offices. I'm right there in the office, and I'd like to know what kind of services you guys have available, because I have a few Lincoln Park patients that I deal with that could use them. Myra McWhiston, Lincoln Park Presbyterian Church.
Mary Ann Provenzano, Lincoln Park Presbyterian Church.
Chris Adams, Lincoln Park Presbyterian Church.
Sean Stansberry, Lincoln Park resident.
Carlos Salcido, Lincoln Park councilperson. I'm eager to listen and learn.
Mike Higgins, Lincoln Park City Council, also able to learn, and also a member of the Lincoln Park Moose, which is running a food bank.
Brittany Regalado, Lincoln Park resident, here supporting our children in the back there.
Tanya Hammond, I work for American Indian Services. We provide services for Native Americans in the downriver area. We also have a food program, the second Wednesday of every month. It's open to everybody. And the Lincoln Park, well, low income, should I say. And also Lincoln Park resident.
Hi, Leslie Lynch Wilson, Lincoln Park Preservation Alliance. We're working on saving, preserving and protecting the historic buildings and homes, and being able to rehabilitate vacant properties into new uses. Lincoln Park Farmers Market, which the parent organization is Friends of Lincoln Park Farmers Market. At the market during market season, we collect produce and any items for Blessed Hope. And when we do our indoor markets, we will usually collect canned goods for Blessed Hope. And basically, we are the only downriver farmers market that accepts all the food assistance programs, which is EBT, Michigan Bridge Card. We participate in Double Up Food Bucks with Project Fresh and Senior Project Fresh. And then we have a kids program called Pop Club, which is Power of Produce, where for kids 5 through 12, where when they come to the market, we have a coordinator that runs it. And each time they come to the market, they get a $2 voucher to spend on the fresh fruits and vegetables and food-producing plants with our farmers. And I'm also on the Lincoln Park DDA. Yeah, I know I need to simplify my life.
Hi, I'm Maureen Tobin. I'm with the Michigan District Exchange Club and a proud member of the Lincoln Park Exchange Club. Our mission is to for the prevention of child abuse, community service, Americanism, patriotism, and we are here to learn and to see how we can help out the community.
Jack Eggleston, Unity Lutheran Church, and I'm also with Michigan United. We provide support for immigrants, new immigrants, including legal services.
Ian Ross, your councilwoman.
Hi, my name is Preston Abbey. I'm here representing the Michigan District of Kiwanis, and our primary mission is to improve the world one child, one community at a time. The way we do that locally is helping out the areas that have a need around young children priority 1, human and spiritual values, food banks, and things like that. We work directly with the schools where we're welcome, with kids and helping them bring up their grades. And then we also have a young children area where we focus on infants from 0 to 5 years old. And then our big one worldwide is eliminating maternal neonatal tetanus.
Jennifer Laurie, representing First Baptist Church of Lincoln Park. We just recently opened a foster children's clothing closet, so we could use for people to come partake in it, and also donations.
Joyce Claire Bethel, Assembly of God in Lincoln Park.
Betty Blue, I'm here on behalf of the Lincoln Park Mire.
Jeff Mueller, Lincoln Park Police Department. Ryan Hamley, Lincoln Park Police Department. I'm one of the school resource officers for the Lincoln Park School District.
Kathy Ori, longtime resident.
I'm Carrie Bosman with First Step. We serve all 3 counties. We provide free comprehensive services to all survivors of domestic violence and sexual assault. Our mission is to end domestic violence and sexual assault in our communities. And I am also one of the ones that has a table on the back, so if you want more information, there are multiple flyers.
Good evening, I'm Kim Hinton from the Guidance Center. We are a Canadian mental health agency in the downriver area. Actually, our original site started 61 years ago over on the Outer Drive. And so we still have programming out of that building, which includes children's mental health programming, outpatient therapy, home-based, wraparound. We do, as an organization, provide service from the age of 0 until. And so I do have brochures on the table emphasizing our children's programming. However, if you're interested in any other of our services that may focus on adults, I can provide that information as well.
Lisa White from Palm Elementary.
Good evening. My name is Bob Dogo. I'm Secretary-Treasurer of Lincoln Park Lions Club, who most of you don't know that we even exist in the city of Lincoln Park. Our mission is we provide glasses for people that cannot provide them in Lincoln Park, Allen Park, and parts of Melbourne Town. We also provide applications for people, and I'm probably the main source downriver for hearing aids. You need hearing aids, you call me, I send the application out, and then you do directly with the Lions Center in Detroit. Also, the rest of our mission is, for 10 years, we have been building a park in Lincoln Park called Lions Park. I don't know if any of you know it. It's over on River Drive. The Lincoln Park Lions Club alone has invested $100,000 in that park. Okay? We don't see anybody here that has ever come over and said, nice job. I'm sorry. But that's the way it goes. And actually, our president is here, who is a very quiet person, Clifford Wibber Jr., who did not want to talk to you. So, all I got to say is, the city knows my phone number. I'll guarantee you the city knows my phone number. Everybody downtown knows my phone number. Call me.
Buenas noches. My name is Belda Garza. I've lived in Lincoln Park for about 5 years. Prior to that, I lived in Southwest Detroit. I'm a former state legislator, and also I served on the Detroit School Board for many years. And I'm here with St. Michael's.
Hi, my name is Dawn Sildell, and I'm an intern social work working for St. Michael's. And today I brought out a community resource guide that I'm putting together. And if you guys would like to add your information, that would be greatly appreciated.
Thank you. I'm Paula Miller. I'm a pastor of St. Michael and All Angels Lincoln Park. We're across from the CBS on Champaign, so if you just tunnel down the street, you'll see our church there. I've had a great opportunity to work with Darcel, who is an intern with us while she's working on her master's in social work from Wayne State. And this is only part of her project. I can't wait for you to see this resource guide. It's the first draft, and soon it will be coming out in Spanish as well. So I want to make sure that it is complete. If you are not on this resource guide, please add your name and your contact information. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Francisco Herrera, and I'm here on behalf of Southwest Detroit Immigration and Refugee Center. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Valeria. I'm an attorney and I work at a law firm here in Lincoln Park. I'm also here on behalf of the Southwest Immigrant Refugee Center. Francisco and I are both here to help interpret. We both speak Spanish and I also speak Arabic as well, so if you have any questions, please come our way.
Hi, I'm Kara Clemente. I'm the state representative for District 14, which covers Lincoln Park, Melvindale, Riverview, and Wyandotte. I'm also a Lincoln Park resident and have loved living here, and I'm here to take our voices to Lansing to make sure that our downriver communities do very well. And thank you, Kara, for this.
Good evening, my name is Laurel Rose. I'm a Lincoln Park resident and I'm here representing Community Care Services. We started a school-based program here in Lincoln Park about 4 years ago, and we provide services in Lafayette and around. We're at Taylor High School. We're going to be providing other services in other schools. I'm also the program director for a home-based program. Community Care Services has been on Outer Drive and 4th Street for 30 years. We provide services to adults and children ages 3 to 99, and we have substance abuse services, one-on-one therapy, supported employment, supported housing. We are going to be breaking ground in the spring. We're going to be building a 32-unit housing unit for low-income adults. We're very excited about it. We have a wonderful clubhouse program that is meaningful employment for residents on 4th Street, and we've got back programs, so we've got a great program, and we're totally devoted to Lincoln Park.
Well, I'm Mike Horvath. I'm a resident who grew up in the city, starting in 1957. And then in 97, I bought the house I grew up in from Mom and Dad, one of those, and a lot of people in Lincoln Park. And I'm here because interested in some of these things, because I help so many groups here in the Lincoln Park Community Emergency Response Team, the Lincoln Park Exchange Club, who does a lot of good things. And, there's people complain about a lot of things, but, it's like you people here today, there are a lot of good people who are doing a lot of good things for both, because we have some low income within the school system and everywhere else. So places, and even the fan here, that help people, but, I appreciate the good people in Lincoln Park very much, and I see them doing good things quite often, so that's a good aspect to know about in the city. Thank you.
Good evening, my name is Greg Clifton. I'm a resident of Lincoln Park. I'm one of the two judges of the 25th District Court, which is in Lincoln Park, which serves Lincoln Park, Forest, and River Rouge. I'm also a resident of a group called Downriver Families Against Narcotics, which assists people in addiction and families with their recovery. I'm also a board member on the Lincoln Park School Foundation. I'm also a member of the Lincoln Park Exchange Club, which was described earlier. And I think this is a great idea for all of us to get together and collaborate and come up with ideas.
Good evening, I'm Simone Calvis. I'm a Special Projects Coordinator for Belmont Health, also part of the 25th District Drug Court team. We deal with all the substance abuse issues in the downriver area, plus human trafficking. I have a bunch of information over there about substance use, and we also have a free adolescent clinic if you don't have insurance for your students.
Hi, my name is Lisa Wayne. I work at the Downriver Community Conference, Michigan Works. Downriver Community Conference is an agency that is run by all the Downriver mayors. Our mission is to enhance the lives of residents as well as improve the community. So we do workforce development, help people go back to work through training, career coaching. We have a clothing shop for people that need clothing for their job search. We do weatherization, economic development, brownfield redevelopment, and mutual aid, and there's a lot of great services there.
Hi, my name is Chris Stafford, Lincoln Park Police Department. I'm also one of our school resource officers here in the district.
My name is Peggy Brennan. I'm an occupational therapist with Lincoln Park Public Schools.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm Nicole Chubb. I'm the Director of Special Education for Lincoln Park Public Schools. I just want to thank everyone for being here tonight. Unfortunately, our superintendent, Mr. Terry Dangerfield, was not able to be here tonight, so I'm here representing Lincoln Park School District. I also oversee our Student Support Network in Lincoln Park, which is our system for meeting the non-academic needs of our kids. So as you know, or you've heard in the news, or there's been a lot of talk about the work that we're doing around social emotional growth for our students, making sure that their basic needs are met, focusing on trauma-informed, resilient-focused classroom in school districts, and just partnering with as many community agencies as we can, because as you know, it does take a village. So I'm very thankful to see everybody in this room tonight. I'm a social worker by education, and that is what is in my heart, and so thank you for being here on behalf of Lincoln Park School District.
Hi, I'm Kim Wagner. I am lucky enough to be one of the 2 district occupational therapists for Lincoln Park Schools.
Hi, my name is Sherry Gardner, and I'm the district parent liaison with Lincoln Park Public Schools.
Good evening, everyone. Tom Carnes, Mayor of the City of Lincoln Park. That's the president of the Exchange Club, and the thing about the Exchange Club is that every year there's been a City of Lincoln Park, there's been an Exchange Club in it, and ours, so celebrating 90-some years anyway. 95. 95. That's not a bad thing. Also, president of the Lincoln Park School Educational Foundation, the Lincoln Park Community Credit Union chairperson, and most importantly tonight is I am the mentor of a group of people that are your hosts for tonight, and that is the Lincoln Park Excel Club. So ladies, 3 representatives of that are here. And what the Excel Club, their primary purpose is to make Lincoln Park a better place to live. They will take, biannually they do trips to the nursing home to one for the Christmas sing-along, then they will also present flowers in the springtime, and they just get to meet everyone. They will also be working on the Jack Frost Jamboree, the Daddy-Daughter Dance, which is coming up. They're like an added arm of the city where they come in and they volunteer. Breakfast with Santa and all the like. And at the end of the year, what it all goes down to a visit to the state capitol. Representative Clemente has been very helpful with giving them a tour and everything. And that's the day for the Child Abuse Prevention Kickoff, which is the main deal with the Exchange Club. So my purpose here today is to maybe help out if people have questions or concerns, but the primary focus is to learn, because anytime that we get a group of dynamic people like we have today, you make connections, and it may not be something that you think about tonight, but it's something that you think about tomorrow. Well, I heard about a way that I can help you out over here. Matter of fact, this is the contact information. We'll relate to this person over there. So there's a lot of good that can come from our participation tonight. So please take an active role and don't be afraid to speak up.
And I would just like to add one thing to our Excel Club over here. 2 of us, Natalie and Paola, I almost got it right the first time, are also available to provide translation services into Spanish. So, and I heard a couple say Spanish and Arabic translation services up front. So if you are in need or just would like any of those services, maybe raise your hand and Brother Kara or Liz or myself will make sure that you get connected with them.
Hi, I'm Nathan Adanti, a Lincoln Park resident.
Greg Adanti, longtime Lincoln Park resident.
I'm Pastor John Peck from Bethel Assembly of God.
Good evening. My name is Larry Kelser. I'm the City Councilman of Lincoln Park. And I do know where Lions Club Park is at because my wife would be sitting in the truck all night to watch cement exit prize and nobody did any graffiti. We volunteered in the Citizen Patrol Watch and also belong to CERT. This is responsible. I'm glad everybody showed up. It's important. Like everybody said, that we've never, a lot of people don't know what people do. So, thank you.
Come on. 2 more on the way, and then wait.
the other district teenager specialist for Lincoln Park Public Schools.
Wow, you have a following.
Hi everyone, my name is Andrew Stewart. I'm the school social worker at Rock Elementary School here in Lincoln Park. I'm here to just briefly introduce our Forwards program. Forwards is a nonprofit organization that partnered with Rock Elementary School last year. And we continued that program here this year. And basically it's a program to teach kids social emotional skills, conflict resolution, and just how to play. And so I'm actually not going to do a lot of the talking. I'm going to allow the students to do a lot of the talking. And they're going to be talking to you a little bit about why we teach kids new games, how to keep them safe, how to play correctly, and then just some strategies for conflict resolution. So I'm going to pass it over to them.
My name is Emily, and my top reference topic is why kids new games. We teach kids new games because when they just go play old games, they usually get bored. So the more new games we teach them, the more fun they have. My name is Natalie, and we teach kids new games to build stronger friendships, so that they can hang out more and have a funner time at recess.
Now we're going to talk about how to keep kids safe.
Hi, my name is Jocelyn, and how we keep kids safe, keep them from running into each other, we keep them not to, and we don't let them be in chairs or right inside the classrooms. And we try to make them have friendship because we don't want them to have conflict and keep them safe.
Now we're going to talk a little bit about how we teach kids to play correctly.
Hi, I'm Lyric, and we teach kids to play with jump ropes and hula hoops correctly. And we help kids play with basketballs because some kids are younger and they don't know how to play with them. And we teach kids how to share stuff. So if people are fighting over stuff, we go help them. And we teach kids how to play with jump ropes to jump and hula hoops to, put around your waist and stuff.
My name is Emma, and we teach kids how to tag correctly because kids like to hit, push, and shove and tell others they can't play because they don't know how to play correctly. So we teach them to let others play and to teach other kids to play the game correctly and not be mean.
Hello, my name is Mia, and we teach kids how to play games like Foursquare because some people don't know how to share, and people can't fight over little things. So what we do is we play a game called Rochambeau that will help kids resolve some problems.
And finally, we have how we resolve conflicts out at recess.
We talk to both of them and see what actually happened from both stories.
You can tell them to talk it out.
You can tell them to talk it out.
rock, paper, scissors.
Why do we use rock, paper, scissors?
To tell them, whoever wins gets to be the person or whatever they're playing.
So these are our junior coaches, so one day a week we talk about how to help students play outside of recess. They write down every day what goes on at recess and how it works. And then we talk every week about what we can do to maybe help students accomplish those goals. But these students were specially selected in the application process to be a junior coach. So it's teaching them those kind of skills of putting out a resume and putting out your skills and leadership skills. These are students that their teachers recommended and said that if these students missed class for 30 minutes a day to help out with recess, they would be able to make up that work. So it's teaching them motivation to stay dedicated to their academics as well as helping kids outside with social and emotional learning. And that's up for you. Thank you.
Okay, well thank you guys, I really appreciate that. How many, just raise your hands, how many people have heard of a service that you did not know about before as we went around this room? Perfect, excellent. We have already done something that we came here to do, so now let's just have fun. Okay, so I'm going to go through, we have this wonderful crowd and we have some exercises to get to. So I'm going to go through my presentation, which is honestly the least exciting part of this, pretty quickly. So Kara had already kind of given us a little bit of background of the genesis of this, sort of started with some informal meetings among members of various service groups, realized that there were some gaps, certainly in the knowledge of the services that were provided. This group identified a variety of community needs in key areas, and so those areas are education, housing, employment, safety, and belonging. And as a group, when we talk about it, we kind of keyed in on belonging as maybe a theme that encompasses the remainder of them and provides sort of a fresh take on connecting people. So the original concept was for this forum was kind of a matchmaking where folks who had needs and folks who were providers could kind of come and talk about where the mismatch was happening. This is a big ask of potential recipients. It's easier to get providers here, as we know, right? Because we're sort of, paid to do it and keep track of it and that kind of thing. So we tested the waters with a little mini survey that was designed to both provide outreach and to gather some preliminary data. So maybe you might have seen it, that was the Lincoln Park Belonging Survey. We had some pretty low response to that survey, especially initially. And so then we thought, okay, well, maybe this isn't the best avenue. We're all learning on our feet. Like I said, this is a thing that hasn't been done before. So let's take the tack that we really approach this from the perspective of connecting providers. Because if even this room doesn't know everything that's available in the community, then how will we provide those connections most effectively? It's hard. So today's program, how can we work together to better connect the services we offer with the people who need them? And so my presentation very quickly is going to talk about the needs. It's going to talk a little bit about what we know of the entities that offer assistance, and a little bit about the existing access points. And then we're going to get right into the exercises, because really that's what we hope to come away with today. That's where we're going to make some forward movement. So here we'll start with kind of the five key areas that we started with. So we kind of said that they all feed into belonging. And so the first thing that I did, so as Kara introduced me, she said that I was Lincoln Park City Planner, and that it's true. So I just love data. I look at these things and I say, oh, we can find data on education, housing, employment, and safety. And the question is, where do people need services? There are ways to find the geographic, to correlate, see if there's a geographic correlation with these needs. So the next few slides do that. We will start, just again very quickly, with education. And these maps, you don't need to take in the whole thing. You just in general need to know that the darker the color, the higher the need. So if you just kind of let this hit your eye, I have 4 of these slides that look like this pretty similarly, then you can see kind of the basic shape. So this is a person that has not graduated from high school, and that has a secondary or four-year degree. Housing. So a cost-burdened household pays more than 35% of their income in securing their shelter, basically. So renters in the city of Lincoln Park and all over are more cost-burdened than homeowners. About half of renters in the city of Lincoln Park are cost-burdened. The share rate here are all renters. And about 15% of homeowners are cost-burdened. So this is all homeowners, and these are the cost-burdened ones. Because in general, we have more homeowners than renters, these numbers are about the same. There are about 2,000 households in each case which are cost-burdened. And renters are more vulnerable than homeowners, we said, and we know where renters are. So again, the red has the highest percentage of renters, and you just kind of like let that fall on your eye. You can see the geography. Next, we talk a little bit about employment. So this is percent unemployment, percent in poverty, because often our concerns about unemployment aren't really so much that we don't have to get up and go to work every day, it's that we don't get the paycheck at the end of the week, right? That's the greater concern. So, again, the darker the color, the higher the need. Let those patterns hit your eye. You belong in a safe environment, so we took that to correlate with crime. And so we have, this is from, I think, the FBI Uniform Crime Data. And again, let that hit your eye. And finally, when we put those together, this is actually a social vulnerability index that the census puts together. We can see that there is a geography to the need in Lincoln Park. And I think that that's important for us who are providers to know, because if we are conducting outreach, then the places where the most vulnerable people are the places where we would want to spend our most intense resources. The knocking on doors, the flyering, the really one-on-one connection that we can't always afford to do everywhere, and so we have to target. This next slide is actually new. I sent out a draft that did not have this in it. We did conduct the survey, the Lincoln Park Belonging Survey. If you didn't take it, it just had a couple of questions. They were, what is your greatest challenge? Who do you turn to for help with that challenge? And what do you think the greatest needs are in the Lincoln Park community? So we received 19 responses overall, which previously, those previous slides, those are data, right? Those are well sampled. They come from the census, from American Community Survey. This I would not call data. 19 people out of a community of 37,000 is not necessarily representative, but it does provide you with the qualitative answers, the direct communication that the census certainly never does. So we'll share, what we found there. So here are our 4 needs that we identified, and then just from coding the responses, we got 3 more: health, food, and transportation. And then some of the kind of qualitative responses that we got. For employment, what is your greatest challenge? It's working long hours and not having enough money. For housing, what is your greatest challenge? It's property upkeep, finding affordable housing, finding senior housing. For the people who responded about their own challenges, this housing had represented the most frequent answer. Safety, the comments talked about the increase in crime in the city, talked about feeling vulnerable as a senior. And the health concerns, besides one's own health, there were also just concerns about aging in general and about providing caregiving. What I thought was very interesting was that a number of the responses did speak directly to belonging, even though it said belonging survey, but mostly we just asked about the greatest challenge. So those read: neighborhood isolation, being happy, needing collective assistance, and either being part of the community or feeling like they needed to move on. The lack of belonging kind of was a strong feeling. When we asked about the greatest needs of the wider community, again, we heard about the 4 things that we identified. We heard about new things, and then we also got brand new one, cleanliness. So the qualitative answers there: for a need for greater employment involved poverty and panhandling, and a lot of comments about filling buildings with businesses. For safety, the needs identify for safe walking areas, and that can be from traffic as well as from crime. More dispatch and control, safety from substances. The transportation category, I don't know that I've ever done a meeting where the roads didn't come up. And so, sure enough, even when you're talking about social needs, there they are. Flooding, needed repairs to the sewer system. These are real quality of life issues, right? They sound like infrastructure, but when you're the one experiencing the flooding, it's a social systems issue. Cleanliness, and the question there was, what is the need? We needed more pride. We need pride in our homes, in our yards, and in our parks. And again, belonging comes up specifically. A team that can help with basic needs. We need a program for those who fall through the cracks. We need a directory. We need more community events. Those are the qualitative sorts of things that we've heard. So when I added those up, I really very much to my surprise found that after I coded all the answers, far and away, the greatest need was for connection. It was for those belonging ones. To say, we need somebody to kind of feel less isolated. We need to feel like somebody's looking out for us. That if I had a need, that I didn't just call a phone number and it went to nowhere, but that I was shepherded through a process. After that came employment, which I think makes a lot of sense. I used that sort of when I was coding as a proxy for financial well-being. That has a lot to do with our security. Housing and safety. Were lower than I thought they would be, right? When you're talking about like your sort of greatest challenge, that either means that we are well providing for housing and safety, or it means that the need for connection and or prosperity is greater even than those, or a second to them. Roads, health, and transportation all came in about the same. Cleanliness and food down at the bottom. And very interestingly, even though we have identified right up top education as being a primary need, not one person said that when we asked, what is your greatest challenge for either you or for the community? Now we can see the ways in which education is connected to those other things, and that maybe is not what presents as kind of the primary need, but I do think that's a pretty interesting finding. And then we asked, where do you turn for help with this problem? And here's what we heard. The biggest number by far said, I either do it myself, or I ask my family. Well, if your family is no more resource than you are, that may not be the ideal place for help. The next most common answer was none. I just don't get it. Did someone say it to me? No? Okay. Then you just don't get it. I find these answers to be a little bit heartbreaking, and I bet that you guys do too. The next answer was government. That was either state or local. I think in one case, the answer was people who have more clout than me. I coded that as government. And then finally, at the very bottom here, we have neighbors and service organizations, which I think if you were to ask me, and I said, if you were to ask me, well, where do people go for help when they need it? I would have put those much closer to the top. And so I found this to be a pretty interesting state of affairs, and one that shows us if people are not beating down our door for the services that we offer, it may be because they have sort of given up at some time previous to now, and that our first barrier is not so much the knowledge of our services, but a feeling that they will be, that when a person seeks them, that will be a successful effort for them. So I just did the briefest of kind of research. So the first question was, how do we get connected? And so we learned that we have all these great organizations, and then, well, okay, so clearly we must need some kind of pooling of those resources. There must need to be one place where you can find out about all those resources. But it turns out that there is one, the Information Center, which has a website with all kinds of resources on it. They have a physical publication, which you can download as a PDF, which there are hard copies of, which serves 34 downriver communities and produces that Where to Turn guide, which is focused on the entirety of the downriver. So great, that's done, right? We can all go home. There are probably still some barriers there too. And this is no knock on the Information Center whatsoever. It just illustrates that the availability of information is not always sufficient, So I just, gave him a call. I didn't get an answer, and when I emailed, it sort of went to an error page. Now, I'm not a person in need of services, but I have in life been such a person, and this is the kind of thing that sort of makes you just kind of go back to the couch or wherever it was you were before. Even if it is even if it's an overcomable hurdle, it can be, a barrier. The directory has only contact information, which, again, is leaps and bounds. I mean, we need that contact information, but when you're kind of staring at a page with 14 listings on it, a little more qualitative information or some kind of guidance is, I think, often what we're in need of. And then one thing that it could be a barrier is that it's not well defined by geography. So in our meetings, I've heard some folks say, well, it's really important to compile the assets that are specific to Lincoln Park, has been done in this asset map. And so that is 100% true to bring us together. It's also, but you can also see how coming together in the downriver community could also be, if you want to know services for yourself and your mother who lives over in Taylor, that could also be a plus. So that resource does exist. Okay, I thought, well, so we have a book, and maybe what it needs is the more kind of personal connection. Well, it turns out we have 211 in Michigan, so that's a service in which you should be able to just call it as you would 911, and they should be able to connect you with services. But Southeast Michigan is administered by Community Way. They have this handy little form there, which that one I did not fill out. And they also do some other things, like they track the requests. So if I just went to, by the way, you're really lucky here in Lincoln Park because you have one zip code and it basically is confined to your city boundaries. So for data purposes, that's just terrific. So for the 48146 area code, we can see how many requests were received through this service. You can see here again that housing was the most frequent request. And kind of this one was done by number, you can also get it by percent, of what exactly the needs are that are being filtered through this service. So again, I didn't try it, but it seems as though this should be a method of access. But of course, and it does purport to offer provider services as well. So event requests, marketing materials, programs, and training, and some kind of convening, I think. But I said, oh great, marketing materials, that must be what we need. Coming soon. There's barriers there too, right? All of these kind of ways of getting most of the way there seem to need just a little more help getting over the hump of the actual connection. So it seems like we have people in need, we certainly have resources to help, and we have a couple methods of connection. But we still seem to need reliability, some widespread understanding or recognition, some local accountability, and really, I think that all boils down to some human connection, which is extremely time and resource intensive. So, what's preventing us from harnessing these tools effectively? My guess is that we need more time, attention, and coordination. All of these are sort of ongoing, management-oriented, I'll just say thankless, tasks that are hard to show the immediate benefit of, and so often kind of fall by the wayside when we're trimming our budgets and becoming leaner and trying to boil down to our essential services and all those phrases that I'm sure you are very familiar with. So again, tonight, after kind of going through that, what we're going to talk about is how we can work together to better connect those services with the people who need them. And I think that the way to start is with a really fine-grained understanding of the outreach conditions facing both providers and seekers of social assistance here in Lincoln Park. So the exercises that you have in front of you, which we're going to turn to in just a second, are designed to be filled out to ask you questions that you can answer, whether you are a service provider or if you are not a service provider, whether you are a person who maybe has ever needed a social service, and I would dare to say that that is most of us at some time. So just a couple little rules of the road here. We are all going to, this is why we asked you to sit at a table that has one of the exercises on it. So if we still have any outliers or stragglers, there's a couple of seats up here. We can pull some chairs up. We want to make sure we get everybody in here. we are going to select one person to kind of be the official scribe, although there are several pens, and feel free, because we're moving kind of quickly tonight, feel free to write in your own answers if that is a better way of conducting things. So, we are going to respect and record all ideas. Everybody came here tonight, we want to hear what everybody has to say. We are going to give everyone a chance to share. If you notice somebody at your table has been a little quiet, maybe ask them a direct question, kind of draw them in, make sure you get their information. Seek to improve and elaborate on ideas. If you're not quite sure what that means, be sure and ask. Because if you don't know what it means, when we get it back to the office to transcribe it, we won't know either. So help us out. Don't dwell on one topic for too long. We're going to move pretty quickly. All this stuff is exciting. And maintain a constructive attitude. We are talking about problems. Not everything is going to be positive, but we can certainly be constructive. So I'm going to give everybody just 1 second to select a scribe for your table. You can arm wrestle. You can do 1, 2, 3 at it. Which is where we learn from each other. So I'm going to ask one representative from each table, and I will say it does not have to be the scribe. It can be the scribe, but the scribe has already served their time, so they don't have to. I will ask one person from each table to tell us what the top 2 answers from each of your categories were. What are the top 2 most effective? What are the top 2 least effective? What are the top 2 things that we should try? Okay? Alright, I think we have a volunteer to start. We're good. Shall I grab? Alright. And I'm also going to let you know that we're going to be writing down the top 2 things that we should try. Liz is going to be writing those down. So just make sure that she can hear you. And if she has clarification, she'll ask.
Alright, so for our top 2 greatest strengths in connecting with clients, we said referrals and social media. For our organization's greatest weakness, we said word of mouth because of the type of subjects that we deal with. It's not necessarily something you speak about with other people. And then connecting with other organizations. So we said that because we are sort of wider than Lincoln Park, and so we want to connect with so many organizations that we just don't have like the manpower to do it. And what we said would help was training the trainers, so kind of going outside of our organization and getting maybe help to spread the word. And then translation services, so we noticed that that can be a barrier to people reaching our services.
Thank you. So the top 2, so we have it for things we should try. We're training the trainers and translation services. Perfect. So I have another volunteer.
All right. So stress for getting out in the community, and second was knocking on doors. And what did not work were failed newspaper ads, and we talked about failed Facebook posts also. And what would help were representatives of the groups, needs assessment, that's all in one, and then going to the source, which means that if they won't come to you, you go to them at their location or where they meet or the churches and whatever. Why it hasn't been done, basically just, some of it just didn't think about doing it. And then sitting down here talking about it gives you the idea to go out and to do that. And second thing is we just didn't know that that was an option.
Well, that's might be the barrier. Now we know, so that's solved. Awesome. So the 2 that we're writing down are going to the source and representing the group via needs assessment. How are those 2 connected? Conducting needs assessment?
So like the representative of the group would give an assessment of like, say like the Hispanic community has a certain need that we don't know about. And then the representative would tell us or somebody what that need is. So we can put like reality into perspective.
Okay. Do you have a phrase for that?
I just have needs assessment.
A needs assessment with representation? Sure. Okay. Does that work?
That works.
Okay.
That's it.
I saw a hand.
Okay, so we talked about our greatest strengths being, one, we've really been working hard to collaborate with community agencies to bring a lot of services and programs into the school district, and so we've seen a lot of benefit for our students with that. Like recently, we collaborated with Henry Ford Health System, and they just opened a clinic in our high school where any student that goes to Lincoln Park can receive medical or mental health treatment there. So that's been awesome. We've been collaborating with the churches, a lot of the community mental health agencies, and they're providing services in the school, which really breaks down the barriers for our students. Another thing I think that's been a strength for Lincoln Park is we've offered very intentional and very good training to our staff just about trauma, how that affects the way that students learn, social emotional growth for our students, and how we can implement trauma-informed practices inside our classroom. So everybody in our entire district has been trained in this. So it's really just changed the culture in Lincoln Park and the way that we address the needs of our students within Lincoln Park. Some of our limitations or weaknesses are that the needs in our district are so great that the school district alone cannot meet them. And then obviously lack of funding is a huge thing for schools. And then what would help? More funding for schools. And then just continuing to build those connections with community agencies, and we want to continue to network and just work on collaborating together to meet the needs of the students in Lincoln Park.
Thank you. So the two action items I got from there were more funding for schools and collaborating and networking. Yep. All right. Perfect.
All right, so our organization's greatest strength in connecting with clients, we had two testimonials and success stories where you advertise out there how great you're doing, that promotes other people to come to your organization, and then the offering of free services that, as we've said, so many people can't afford things, so to the extent you can offer free services, that's a great way to connect. Greatest weaknesses, kind of consistent with others, money, financing, state, local, and federal, ongoing challenge. Our other weakness was what we call too many restrictions on people trying to sign up. They have to jump through so many hoops and require so much information, it just almost makes it impossible. What would help? Money. Why hasn't that been done? A lot of times you're fighting the politics of trying to, compete with different organizations, so there's only so much money out there. What also would help? More volunteers. I think that's the biggest issue that a lot of organizations are facing, is just everybody in this room is interested in helping. That's why we're here. Where's everybody else? I think if I remember correctly, we had about 5 residents identify that they're here. They're not members of any organization. We need to get more members of the public. And how do you do that? I think promotion. We've got to get the word out there that we're trying to do this. Incentives. We're all doing this for free. Most people don't want to volunteer for free, so how do you attract them? My suggestion would be recognition. If we can't pay them to volunteer, let's give them recognition. Let's get their name, their face out there. Hey, citizen of the week, citizen of the month. I think that might attract more volunteers.
I just want to clarify, you did get more volunteers. When you say money, is that better funded agencies? Is that higher wages? Where's that money directed specifically?
Well,
both. Again, I had to go through the challenge of applying for a grant several times now, and holy cow, I thought law school was tough. So, to make it easier, to obtain money, and just once it's obtained, to disperse it, because even after you are given a grant, again, you have to jump through so many hoops to get it dispersed to you that it almost makes it impossible.
Yeah. Okay, that sounds primarily like better funded agencies.
Yes.
Perfect. Wrap up on this side.
What's your organization's greatest strength in connecting with clients? We had social media, the greatest weakness in connecting, lack of interest, safety, and what would help, more volunteers with the same thing.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay, our greatest strengths were word of mouth and social media. Our lacking in strength was not enough volunteers. What would help? More volunteers, more members, more time. Starting out younger, getting them and people involved younger. More awareness in school, money, spiritual curiosity, one-stop location. Make it easy for people to find you. Let's do something where we are all together, or where all our information can be found together. What hasn't been done? Coffee sessions, collaborations with schools. We even talked about doing a forum just like this in the high school and getting the students, the high school students, to reply to the questions that we were asked tonight, to see where they're coming from with how they live in their households and they're living in the community here. And let's hear what they have to say from their perspective, and we can build on that.
Thank you. So it looks like your top vote getters were more volunteers and better funded agencies, is that right? Yes? Okay, perfect. This is actually one of my favorite things, so it's great to hear the breadth of ideas, and then the other fantastic thing is hearing where we agree. How about you guys?
I guess I have drafted. We got local reach out for one of our strengths in connecting with clients, and also word of mouth, like everybody else, email. We do email, like if we're going someplace, we would respond to an email from a client, resident, as an elected official, or even an organization. Sometimes what happens is we visit it, we exchange business cards, or they'll say, hey, let me put you on my email and then list, I want to show you the calendar of events for the organization, whether it's food or whether it's social activities. The greatest weakness with connecting with clients, lack of communication, and of course volunteers, which everybody's mentioned 3 or 4 times already. A lot of organizations that I belong to, and I know the gentleman here do, is that they are older. A lot of people don't join the organizations that we belong to. They're not a lot of younger people. We talked various reasons why. They're working 2 jobs, they work at a job, and they come home and take care of their family. It's not the same as it was back in the day when a lot of us joined. And the biggest thing is like has been explained, is younger people getting involved to make sure that somebody can carry the ball after we, not able to do that anymore. Unfortunately, a lot of organizations lack people to do that. I think that's why a lot of times when you see organizations, it's the same 10 people, or the same 12 people, whether it's this event or another event you belong to. Personally, I belong to 4 or 5 organizations. I see the same people, all 5. So, and I think that's the other thing. Now, what would help would be obviously get more people involved, elected officials more involved, maybe more of an outreach or some kind of town hall or format to show that we are, we're here. You can get a hold of us to help do that, and also getting more involved with residents. A lot of residents that obviously was said by, I think, Judge Clifton, there was only 5 residents here. I mean, that's great that we're all the people that do the job. We want to get the information to the people that need the information. So, and I guess why hasn't it been done? We didn't really get to that part or discuss it, so.
Okay, so it looks like your top vote getters were increasing involvement by young people and getting elected officials involved. Cool.
Our strength is our minister and our community events, like the car show, like our community barbecue and our backpacks for schools. What's our weakness? We don't have enough human resources to do more services. What would help? Unlimited resources, time, people, money. Right now it's not feasible because we don't have enough people.
Oh, just this one.
Unlimited resources. So I think we're going to have both more time and more money, although, can we say catalog of resources?
We don't, I mean, we use the catalog, that's what we're saying. We use catalog of resources, you know, the information books.
Okay.
And the update.
Okay, I think we're covered. Thank you. Last but not least.
Number 9, that's our group. Just want to let you know that in our greatest strength in connecting, we thought about word of mouth. Seems like things can get out pretty well if we all connect by word of mouth. And then perhaps doing a Facebook page as well, and creating a Facebook page. Organizations' weaknesses in connecting were flyers and postings. We didn't feel that they worked that well. What would help? A reliable means of messaging. In other words, let's develop a reliable means of messaging. And that certainly would have to be located somewhere in the city where people can see it. So I think that is really right on the money. As a matter of fact, from what I know, things that I do in the city, there is no reliable means of messaging. So we need to develop one.
All right, I'm just going to say a couple of things, and then I'm going to turn this over to yes. Sure.
I apologize. Listening to everybody, one thing that occurred to me, and I've heard this before and I left it out, I think one of the biggest challenges is what some other people have referred to as the silo effect. We have a lot of great groups here. We have churches, we have healthcare, we have schools, we have all these different silos that provide services. We need to connect them together better so that if somebody at the church needs help, they know they can connect right away instead of going through all this red tape to try to, set them up. And I just wanted to add that.
Thank you.
And I will piggyback right on it and say that this group, this gathering, and even just this program is really special, right? So I was kind of brought in to do some facilitating because that's what I do for a living is I sometimes run meetings. But I go to a lot of communities. We serve the whole state, we serve the region, and very infrequently, now I'm not a social service person, I'm a planner, but we often try to sort of delve into human needs when we're writing, say, a master plan, for example. And in many communities, that's not well received, much less having all of you people in a room together, looking forward, wanting to really make some magic here. So I just cannot commend you enough for coming here, for putting this effort. I hope that tonight is the beginning of something very exciting, and that we put ourselves on the map with all the excellent care that is provided. So, quick housekeeping before I turn you over to Kara to wish you good evening. So we have finished compiling the things that you think would help. On your way out, I'd like you to do a couple of things. We're going to paste those up or take those up on the wall back there. If you could take a pen or a marker, I'll stand back there and have some more in my hand, and just put an X or a dot or a check mark next to what you think are the top 3 of those ideas. No double check marking, you have to vote for 3 different ones. But so what we're trying to do here is to take all of the ideas that we have heard here and to kind of prioritize them among everything that we have heard. So, on your way out, I would like you to do that. I would also like you to, if you are a service provider, stop by the front sign-in table there, where we will have copies of the asset map, the Lincoln Park Community Resource Guide, and make sure that your organization is listed in there, that the listing is accurate, and that we have all the information that you would like us to have. I would like to thank you, Liz would like to thank you, and I turn you over to Reverend Carol.
Thank you for
all of this, it really wouldn't have been possible without you. I also want to thank other people that were on my planning team for making this event possible. I have Adam from Southwest Detroit Immigrant and Refugee Center. Angela and Anna, our behavioral specialist team for the Lincoln Park Schools. John Peck, who is the pastor over at Bethel. Larry, who is our city council person who talks a lot. And all the others that I have been in contact with, that we've had conversations that were supportive of this idea. So thank you very much. May your evening be one where you get some good rest. Thank you for spending this time. I really do appreciate it because I know that we've worked long days. And may your week be one full of goodness and peace.
What's the next step?
The next step is that we will be compiling this information, and if it seems that this has gone well, which I think it has, we can probably expect another community forum.
I'd like to say God bless America.
All right,
God bless Lincoln Park.